Good morning. Welcome to Soulprint Intuitive Tarot. It is July 17th. I'm so glad you could join me. Take a few minutes of your day and spend it with me. It means a great deal. I just want to make a quick point. So Trump's being a real goof, and he's singled out these 4 congresswomen, and he's made a big deal, and now there's this huge debate going on about not is he racist, but how racist is he? And then the Republicans are saying, it's their policies that are un-American. And there's all this back and forth, and the Democrats are, screaming about impeach him. Those of us who don't like Trump, and I solidly put myself in that group, we tend to write him off kind of as a flake. He's too stupid to breathe, right? Doesn't have the common sense that, God gave a field mouse to survive the winter. These are their thoughts. We tend to forget that he is a master at manipulating the conversation and the media. So this kerfluffle, and don't get me wrong, I'm not justifying anything he's done or saying that it was correct or proper or even human. But when was the last time there was any news coverage about the southern border? Think about it. He's really smart. He's really, not in brain power, but really smart in the skill of sucking up all the oxygen and controlling the narrative. Don't be fooled. Keep your eye on the ball. He's just good at it. Okay, it's unfortunate that is his only redeeming skill and or quality. But you know what? Whether we like him or we like it, he survived for over 50 years, keeping himself front, center, and relative, or at least all of those in his mind and in his way. So let's just be really mindful of that, because it's so easy to become distracted by what comes out of that White House and the way the Republicans react or don't react. But remember, some of these Republicans are learning kind of at the master's lap. You know what I mean? Like, as devious and kind of icky as they were before, they're getting lessons on how to ramp that up. That's all I have to say on that. Just be mindful of it. So, today, I have a question. And my question is, what's the story with Roger Stone? Is he going to end up, is he going to at one point push that judge so far that she says enough is absolutely enough? So, come on down. Let's see what we can find out. Do a couple of quick shuffles here. Okay. Roger Stone, Roger Stone, Roger Stone. What's the story with you, Roger? What are you up to? What are you trying to do? He's another one, that's really good at controlling the narrative of trying to manipulate where our attention is and in what direction it moves. With him, it's all about his image. It's all about being perceived as a brilliant political, strategist. Somebody who is able to sink to depths lower than most, all for the result he wants to achieve. That is what drives him. He doesn't really care how low he has to go. It's all about the prize. It's all about the winning. It is all about accomplishing the goal so it reflects well on him. And unfortunately, he was good at it. For a period of time, he was good at it. And whether anybody approves or doesn't approve, he did accomplish what he set out to accomplish. And of course, him and Manafort were cut from the same cloth, partners for a long time. So, what you see in one, you see in the other one, right? They're birds of a feather. So, definitely, he is motivated by the world's perceptions of him, his associates' perceptions of him, the media's perception of him. He is all about the show, especially now, as he really doesn't have a whole lot of other cards to play. It's all about the right image, the right look, wearing the correct suit, having the proper sunglasses. And sometimes when he's really in a mood, we get a fashion show of his dumb hats. That's what he's about. He's that shallow. There's nothing more, okay? He came to the earth with actually a pretty clever mind. But he didn't use it to benefit mankind. He used it to benefit himself and people who were cut from the same cloth as him. He attracted clients who were devious, who were underhanded, who didn't care about the law, who didn't care about, protocol, about tradition. None of that matters. He is, again, one of these original stomp until you shatter it, right? That's the way he works. There's a lot of, burdens the guy's carrying. And frankly, he is prepared to go to war over it, right? I mean, he's taking this court case very seriously, in as much as he feels it threatens him, his name, and his security. And so he is prepared to pull out all the stops to get what he wants, to win the game. That's it. And he really doesn't care. In fact, honestly, he gets a little bit of a charge out of skating as close to that line as he thinks he can. And because his mind works in ways that are kind of so underhanded and devious, he thinks of responses that other people would shy away from. Okay, so put yourself in his shoes. He got hauled into court yesterday, and an even stronger gag order was put on you by a judge that you have already supremely pissed off. And you leave the court, and you've now been publicly chastised, and what do? You just start going on under your wife's name. You use her Facebook, her Twitter feed, her Instagram. Most people wouldn't do that. They would understand the implied message, which is not only do you not do it, but you don't cause it to happen. But again, if you don't specifically say those words, he finds the loopholes. It's like his superpower. He finds the loopholes and he figures a way to skate around them. Actually, I want to use the term slither around them. That's kind of how he functions. It is as if all of his emotions, the way he views himself, his ego, all of that is completely wrapped up in the adulation, the praise, being told he is so clever. That is what feeds him. And he will dance and juggle and twist and manipulate, whatever it takes. He's really scared of going down. He's really scared of being forced out of that inner circle. He is scared of being abandoned by those people whose opinion he respects. Whether the rest of the world respects their opinion is like completely irrelevant. And, you know, like all people who associate with Trump, they always think they're the chosen one. They're the special ones. They are the ones who Trump is going to go to bat for. It's really quite remarkable. You know, he doesn't do it for anybody else, but for me, I'm his buddy. I'm the guy, and he's going to watch out for me. He's not watching out for anybody but himself. And people who can objectively look at the situation understand that. But there are people in that circle who are so ego-based, so ego-driven, that they just are unable to take off the rose-colored glasses and see things objectively when it comes to Trump. So he also is operating under the illusion that he can push this judge as far as he wants. She can throw him into jail. She can find him guilty. She can sentence him to whatever. Trump is going to save his butt. That's what he thinks. He, again, doesn't get that Trump is not going to save his butt. Trump is busy saving his own butt, and he is going to be left out in the cold. Yeah, it's all illusion, and it's all tricks. Those are the two pots that he draws from. He creates distraction. He creates illusions. He himself lives in a fantasy world where, you know, Nixon was a hero. Okay, so let's just start there. But he just lives in this place where it's like a fantasy life he lives. He no longer is able to look at things through clear glasses. It's all a narrative that kind of runs around in his head that allows him, again, like many of them, to believe not what is in front of him, but to believe what he wants to see in front of him. And that's honestly what he thinks he sees. And make no mistake, he's a trickster. He is able. I mean, come on, he's done this for how long? I don't know how long that he has been in this business, but it certainly has to be 40, 45 years, maybe longer. He's figured this out. He's figured out how to play the game. And because there's kind of like not really a strong moral compass there, he doesn't care who his clients are. He just doesn't. He's really frightened of you know, finances. He's not in good shape financially. And the thing, honestly, that terrifies him the most is not being in the public eye. Scares him spitless. The thought that people are not saying his name, people are not talking about him, it sends him sort of into, I almost want to say like an irrational frenzy, where he then just continues to amp up and amp up and amp up whatever he needs to do to get himself back in the public eye. It's his, you know, honestly, not that different from Dershowitz and Giuliani, right? It's that same need and drive to stay relevant, and that fear of becoming irrelevant, you know, not being in the loop. He's going to fight this. He's going to do whatever he can. What he doesn't understand is that this judge has an incredibly long rope, but when she's done with him and his antics, that's it. There's no more kind of chances once she reaches that point. And a lot of people have said, really, she is kind of bent over backwards to accommodate his antics and his behavior and give him another chance. And part of that is again, it's a strategy on her part, almost as if when he tries to appeal, they can't win an appeal on the grounds that, she was biased against him, or she didn't give him the opportunities to correct his behavior. And when you look at the what's going on, this is a bit of a tangent, but what's going on with the Jerry Nadlers and the Ways and Means Committee, and they keep giving all of these witnesses who aren't showing up chances, right? We ask you, you don't want to come. We subpoena you, you ignore that, you blow us off. We then have to subpoena you again, and then we finally take it to court. There's a reason for that. As crazy frustrating as it makes everybody, there's a reason. It's because they have to build those blocks that kind of don't allow an appeal to go forward. When they take it to court, it has to be rock solid that they've tried every single thing they can. And it appears that her strategy is very, very much the same. It is, we're going to give him as many chances, but at some point, I'm telling you, she's going to blow a gasket. Queen of Swords, sitting beside the Ace of Swords, okay? It says it all. This is the judge. This is her truth. This is what she is ruled by. This is how she functions, and this is the base from which she makes her decisions. He's really worried about money. Roger Stone. He doesn't have as much as he wants people to, oh my God, that he wants people to think he has. I'm almost scared to turn over the next one. Oh my. Okay, here we go. His world is about to crash down. He can be as defensive as he wants. He's going to end up in a place that he does not want to be. The government is going to win. He is not going to succeed. He has had a lifetime of manipulating people and governments to do, not his bidding, but to do what the client wants. Okay, so, but he's not winning this time. It's sitting over him, and he is not going to win. He made his deal with the devil to have the notoriety, have the fame. That's his cocaine, right? He needs that constant feed. And the devil will take its due. Jail. Being trapped. Not being able to see a way out. He sacrifices it all for his ego and for the money. More truth. More reality coming down on him. He's not going to be able to talk his way around this. He's not going to be able to spin the story. He's made his bed. The White House isn't going to help him. His friends aren't going to help him. He's never going to regain his glory. And the Wheel of Fortune is going to have the last word. And his fortunes are changing. And not in a way that he is going to like. Well, It's possible, just possible, that Roger Stone is having a worse Mercury retrograde than the rest of us. Because, of course, the Mercury retrogrades have a great deal to do with communications, things going backwards on you, things not working out the way you expect. So it would not surprise me if this little stunt he pulled yesterday with, speaking through his wife's social media doesn't actually explode in his face. So, thank you so much for joining me. Thank you for the likes, the subscribes, the subscriptions. It's wonderful. The comments are brilliant. I really enjoy them. You guys make me laugh, and that is always appreciated in these days and times because, honestly, if you don't laugh, you cry. Take care. Be well. And we'll see you really soon. Bye.